Yo, what's going on, guys? Quick little video before I go into this Miami Heat media availability. But today I wanted to talk about one of the rumors that we heard Jake Fisher put out, and that is the Bulls trading Patrick Williams or being available for trade. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys expect from that and why? But let's get right into it. So, obviously, the Chicago Bulls are allegedly open to trading Patrick Williams, according to Jake Fisher. Let me hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. Like, subscribe. Let's get into it. They're 7-10, and obviously this team's looking like they're probably going to go into a rebuild. And Patrick Williams is a guy who was a lottery pick. He still has potential, but he basically has had the same stats all through his career, and even they're almost eerily similar to his stats from college. And he's a great defender, like a really good defender, can guard multiple positions. He's a 40% three-point shooter on low volume, but he's a guy that it seems like a lot of teams would be interested in having him. So Patrick Williams so far about just under 10 points a game, 5 rebounds, 2.5 assists. Now he's shooting 37% from the field, but 39% from three. And being fourth overall pick, it hasn't really, lived up to that potential. Despite playing, 29 minutes a night, he's shooting 51% true shooting, which is below league average. And he has had a guy who has had some injury setbacks. We know the foot surgery, and he's had just every year some sort of ailment has come up. And the Bulls already have Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic as guys that probably are on the trade block or they want to move. And LaVine's averaging 22 points a night. Vuce is averaging 20. And then Kobe White's over here averaging 19 and a half. And Kobe seems to be a guy that they really like and value. So it's really hard to justify keeping Patrick Williams, especially when the Bulls rank in the bottom in terms of opponent defensive rebounds. They're 25th, and in assists allowed, they're 27th. So he's really just not valuing there. And Jake Fisher labeled Williams as an attainable in the trade market, citing his upside as a former lottery pick. While obviously he hasn't fully tapped into his potential, I think the athletic profile being like a 6'7", 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan and defensive versatility will give an inexpensive contract will give him interest. So although Fisher noted that Williams isn't on, we didn't really note teams' wish list. I think Golden State is a team that would really like him, especially with Jonathan Kuminga not signing that extension. If they don't want to lose Jonathan Kuminga uncompensated and they just rather go with somebody else because they extended Moses Moody, I think they would bring in Williams, have him be mentored by Draymond Green, and he already fits into Steve Kerr's switch-heavy scheme, and his ability to hit corner threes is going to be something that adds to their value. They don't need him to be a huge shooter. Now, the next one is obviously the Thunder's core. They've already done the deal for Josh Giddey, so this seems like they have a former relationship there in terms of negotiating a deal with one another. So I think Williams could take advantage of that situation. And if they want to get rid of Kenrick Williams or one of the guys who have been, kind of injured for them, I think putting Mark Daigneault, having a guy like Patrick Williams, especially with their positionless basketball, and without, the pressure of being in the Chicago media, I really think OKC would be great for him. Now, Mitch Johnson, aka Greg Popovich, has a reputation in San Antonio for developing guys. Obviously, Patrick Williams was compared to Kawhi Leonard, so why not put him in the same place where Kawhi Leonard was made, and that was San Antonio. And obviously, Victor Wembanyama is going to be commanding that attention. Imagine Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Patrick Williams, and Chris Paul as of right now, Would you trade Jeremy Soham? I think Williams would be what you want Jeremy Soham to be, but more efficient. Anderson scoring lights out, but it's not been efficient. Now, another guy is obviously the Miami Heat, which they have always turned overlooked players into stars. Under Eric Spoelstra, obviously, I think Patrick Williams' athleticism, defense would flourish in their switch-heavy scheme, and I think the Miami's culture would also push Williams to unlock the potential. Now, Williams' defensive upside, a guy who averages like a steal and almost a block a game, would obviously blossom under defensive-minded coaches. I think Eric Spoelstra, Steve Kerr would all like those guys, but as well as like the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau would love a guy like that. Taylor Jenkins with the Grizzlies would really like that intensity. However, I think a player development system like OKC or Miami or even Golden State would flourish in untapping whatever potential there still is there, as they've done a great job in just being able to give that those resources to help develop players. And I think again, guy being 6'6'8" with the 7-foot wingspan and the athleticism that Williams has, he'll fit a lot of teams. And another team, or the Sacramento Kings and the Atlanta Hawks, which they really like those faster paces. So I think it needs to be really, really important to see that. Like, I think a lot of teams are going to have interest in him. Now, I just think at the end of the day, when you look at this, the Bulls being kind of a rebuilding team, and with Patrick Williams basically having the same stats for his career, showing that he's a good defender. But I think the thing is he'll have interest either a team that are rebuilding, or for a team that is expected, or a team trying to, get more depth on a playoff team. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys expect and why? I think right here where you look at it, by trading Williams, the Bulls can get some draft assets, and I think Williams gets a fresh start that would better suit him for his growth, or for whatever situation he'd like to be in right now, whether that's like a team like Golden State or OKC or Miami. I just think Williams has a chance to become more than just a what-if player if he could just finally realize the lottery pick upside that he had when, he came out of Florida State. So that's like my biggest thing right there, is just like trying to explain is like, hey, like this is a guy who could have, I don't know, I think it's a lot of people give him crap or act like he's not a good player. But I think really what just happened was the situation wasn't a good one. And you look how long it took Kobe White to figure it out. It feels like it took him forever. And that wasn't his fault, okay? So, I mean, like, it is what it is. And sometimes things take longer than others. And maybe he might not become, obviously, I think Kawhi Leonard being like was an outlandish comparison. But it's still, like, there's the potential there. And he's shown that he can be a scorer. I don't know. I do find it interesting, and one of the things that I think is most wild about this is that we're looking at a place or a guy who is still fairly young. What is he, 23? I want to say that's one thing I didn't even check. I want to say Patrick Williams was 19 when he came in, or 20. Like, the guy's like really young. I think he's my age, 24 at most. He's 23, bro. He just turned 23. Just turned 23. Okay, he's 2 years younger than me, so the kid still got time, man. Like, these guys are so young now. Yeah, that's where I'm going to leave this. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you made it to the end of the video, let me know your thoughts. If you had anything else, that's basically everything I had to say. I don't know what else we could talk about. I just want to milk this to the 8-minute marker. If you did make it to the end, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good jazz. It'll mean the world. We're going for 15,000 subscribers, then 20,000, whatever. Follow me on X, Blue Sky, Same as this YouTube channel, and go check out my stuff at hoopsep.com. Peace out, guys. I love y'all.